You got one life, for crying out loud. You might as well just give it all you got.
The Deej, Dan Jordan.
Your daily dose of reality. Your daily dose of the Deej.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I need my daily dose of the Deej.
I make the news. I don't watch the news. I'm a leader.
The Sales Energizer, Dan Jordan.
Listen, don't worry how to sell, baby. Worry about why people buy. And it's fun.
You don't need a 5-hour energy. All you need is the Sales Energizer.
Just when I think it's not going to be as fun as the one before, each one gets successfully better. What's the word I'm looking for? What's it going to take to get you into this car today, huh?
And now, please welcome the Sales Energizer, Dan Jordan.
Boom! That's exactly it. Do that. Let's do that. Boom! That's exactly
it's Wednesday.
it. That's it. Wednesday is Sunday at Carvel. Does anybody know that reference, or is that just me?
Oh yeah.
Remember that Wednesday?
That was part of their marketing slogan in their commercials. You know a bit about marketing.
Yeah, Wednesday. Know? That's right. We'll start that whole thing off. This time while watching the intro, normally I'm just watching myself, just like you do when you get pictures from school. If you get the school picture, like there's nobody else in the class but your
page
kids.
in my own. Right. Yeah.
But today I was looking at you, and you're standing up now, aren't you?
Oh, I've been standing up.
Yeah, I know. You used to sit. I was watching those old ones. You were like, yeah. Well, it's time for a new intro because you're a stander now. That's the thing.
I'm a mover, man. Yeah. So I bought this thing on Amazon.
Yeah,
like that segue.
Yes.
And it's called, I think the company's called Fezzibo. It's a standing board.
So you're on it? Oh, there you go. You look good. All right. Fezzibo. Look at that. Is it?
Here we go. Let me make it active in the carousel. People are like, "What is Amazon Live?"
Yeah.
While you
make it, I'll tell them while you make it live. And so, see, this is what's called teamwork. Yeah. So we're live on all different places. If you're seeing us on LinkedIn or YouTube or Fallopian Tube or Twitter or any of those things,
probably a thing.
Yeah, just go ahead and move over to Amazon Live. It's a thing. It's really cool. And while we're entertaining, you have an opportunity to get a fizzy board. And so we got all those extra things for you. Yeah.
You know what? From now on, that's what I'm going to call it.
Yeah,
that's it.
The fizzy board. So this is awesome. But in addition to all that extra stuff, we also have awesome guests on Wednesday, and I was looking forward to this. He was here. Our guest today was supposed to be a month or so ago, but some crazy thing happened, and he got very busy, and I'm sure it was all his fault. Okay. But always blame the guest. But in any event, bring him on. He's like the only salesman I met that's actually kind of better looking than me. All right, go ahead. Bring him on.
Yeah, of course. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome to Dan Jordan Live, the founder of Sales is Evolving and the podcast host of Sales Intersection, the intersection of money and meeting and meaning. Would you please welcome Mr. Eric Brakebill Jones?
There we go. Look, he had his arms up before me. I forgot. Way to go,
Let's
Eric.
Go.
Eric Brakebill Jones. All right. Well, listen, I'm pumped you there, and I realize you're on the West Coast, right?
San Francisco. That's correct.
San Francisco. Okay. So you're hanging out there. So it is because we're live. So here it's 12. So there it's 9 o'clock.
Yeah, I just woke up and watched my cartoons, man. So
what kind? You see, that's a problem. I was about to go into the whole thing. So what time do you really wake up?
I'm actually reading a lot of books about the science of time, and there's night owlers and there's early birds, and it's people are just wired differently. I'm wired to be a night owl, but I really love the morning light, the hearing the birds chirp, feeling like I got a start of the day. But long story short, right now I'm a hybrid. I go to bed about 12:30 and I wake up about 6:30. So I'm usually drinking a lot of coffee.
You go to bed at 12:30 and you wake up at 6:30. Look at that. Well, that's a decent amount of hours. That's right, isn't it? 12 to 6. Yeah. So you're not getting enough. That's 6 hours, isn't it?
yeah, it does it for me. I mean,
really, I'm a 7-hour guy, but I wake up at 4, but I go to bed at 9. And I'm asleep at 9. I mean, I'm like toast at 9. My brain stops working at 8:30.
Yeah, have you ever interviewed Larry Levine, the best-selling author of Selling from the Heart?
Yes. Did we have Larry on yet?
We have not yet.
But I think he's scheduled. Yeah, Larry's scheduled. I'm actually going on his show too. And yeah, you know what? He's one of those real sincere guys too.
Well, he wakes up at 3 a.m. He's the only guy I know that other than you that wakes up earlier. 3 a.m. He goes into a dark room and just puts his head in his hands, thinks about the day before and how he can improve. And so you guys should talk.
Yeah, well, we do. Actually, I didn't want to say, but I do wake up earlier, but I can't. But, you know, earlier than 4 is just showing off. You know, that's how it is. I don't know if there's those cool alarm clocks that kind of, it's like a glow ball and it slowly, rises and kind of, so it doesn't ring, just the light itself kind of gets you up. We have a new kitten. And so I wake up with little wet-nosed headbutts in the morning. So okay, so we're done with the waking up thing. So what are you selling now? What's your gig now?
We're all sellers, right?
Yes,
we're selling dreams, they're selling products. So right now I'm really focused on my podcast. I can't disclose the name of a really big magazine, but gonna get named a top national 20 award for it, and basically I'm leveraging that to scoot that attention, that focus to my Sales is Evolving business, which is really about consulting individuals, groups, companies on the ever-changing state of sales, specifically working with a lot of clients on using video and podcasts for their sales and marketing efforts. So that's selling those services is really my focus, but a large percentage of my clientele come from my audience.
So your audience from your podcast. So this is brilliant. This is what people realize, that their audience, my brain stops working. Oh, Jerry Lopez. You know what? I was just talking about Jerry Lopez. He's working with Tom Loftus. Do you know Tom Loftus? No, how would you know who Tom Loftus is? He's just a guy here in Alpharetta, but he's a great guy. And Jerry Lopez, I knew him years ago. Yes, my brain stops working at 8:30. It stops working at 8. Like all critical thought ends at about 8. And then I muddle through until 9, reading Marcus Aurelius. And
you got the energy of a tiger, man.
Yeah, well, it goes, it's all on, and then it just collapses. I'm dead meat after that time. But okay, but you're right. So this content that we're doing right now, this is actual content. And so what do you do? Do you tell people to do podcasts? And what do you do, and how do you get out that content so you can reuse it more than once? Because I think that's a big thing. How do people reuse their content?
Yeah. So how do I reuse it? And it's a work in progress. I mean, there was about 1 year and 2 months ago where I was in my old studio apartment in my pajamas figuring out podcasts. I had probably listened to 20 in my life, and I was wearing all the hats, editing and audio, visual, lighting, the right microphone. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, right? So I've come a long way.
Well, let me ask you, what is the microphone that you use?
Blue Yeti.
You use the Blue Yeti. Oh yeah. I'm using the Samsung Q2U. Does the Blue Yeti have a song?
Not that I haven't got to that part in the instruction manual.
Oh, well, you see, because you should use it should be Blue Moon, because the Samsung Q2U actually has a song to it. It goes like this: a little bit of Deej and a whole lot of you, add a glass of Starlight in the Samsung Q2U, then let it rise for 100 years or 2, and that's a recipe for making sound. You see, you gotta have everything you own should have a tune to it. What about your headset? What kind of headset is? You look like you're about to take off somewhere.
This is a really nice headset that I got I got it a long time ago though, but it's up there. I can give you the name. But
that's all right. No, it looks good. Are you a pilot, by the way?
No, I've always wanted to be a pilot, but people probably don't want me to be a pilot. I don't know. Attention to detail in sales is, that question that comes up in the interview. That's usually what I say is my weakness.
Attention to detail, really. Well, so you mentioned something early, and like Mark Fonseca, who's another great guy here, he says, "What hasn't changed and what will never change in sales?" So, like you said, that the ever-changing market, which is true, but I mean, what's kind of been the everlasting constant in this changing world? Boy, was that poetic or what? You don't get that on normal podcasts.
I think that's a fabulous question, Mark, and I have a fabulous answer, I think, for you. So the technology changes, right? Company culture changes. Look at COVID. Who knows what's going to happen from there? What doesn't change is there's always a how to sell post-COVID sales methodology book, and there's going to be another one next week post-COVID. What doesn't change though is the psychology of sales. That's why I focus on more, the books that are more psychologically oriented towards sales, because the psychology stays pretty much the same. People really need to simplify sales a lot more. It's not as complicated as people think, and it's like Larry Levine's, and he didn't ask me to plug him twice today, so just so you know. But selling from the heart, and just being authentic. Know the product, obviously, but people are making a decision to hang out with, to buy your product, which is comparable to others are looking at. And do they want to hang out with Eric Jones for 8 to 12 months? And so, that's a decision that comes into play. So
that's true. So you're right. So I always talk about growing a business and growing, getting new customers. It's really a triangle. It's your message, your marketplace, and then your media. So your message is always kind of the same. You want to talk in terms of solutions for the customer. Your marketplace is where you direct it. But the thing that has changed, and the thing that people need to get a grip of, and is real difficult, is the media. Basically, the delivery system of that message to the marketplace, because people receive things differently. And so I think Jerry's right that it has to do with technology, and that people are uncomfortable speaking one-to-one. I went out and did some cold calling yesterday, in person, just walking down the street, knocking on doors, walking into businesses. And there is a significant difference to the reactions that I'm receiving now than I was prior to this virus situation. Do you notice that as well, that people are receiving messages differently?
I think that you need to get, there's a lot more noise, right? Because you're confined, you're limited to less mediums of communication. There's not as many in-person opportunities, conferences, or conference rooms full of all the stakeholders. So you got to get creative. And that's why I use video, use podcasting, use the voice messaging on LinkedIn, anything to get through the noise. And I think get them curious, get them thinking, who was this guy? I don't even know if I want his product, but I want to talk to him one more time.
Well, that's cool. So you use LinkedIn. What do you mean video on LinkedIn?
So if I'm connected, well, first of all, Vidyard is integrated to LinkedIn now. So you can just, from a message, you can just make a video from your message. I can message you on LinkedIn. If a first degrees on my phone, if I try to message you, there's a voicemail option where I can just leave you a voicemail. So I use that
through LinkedIn. Through
LinkedIn on your phone, correct?
Oh, okay. And everyone's going to get that. So how has your messaging gotten different? What's your message when you're looking? Well, actually, I want to ask this first. What does your coaching program look like? You said it's for a year to hang out with you. What does it look like as far as what do people get?
It doesn't have to be a year, but I do have a year package. And really it ranges from what is a podcast? Why are you thinking about doing a podcast or using video, right? To what is your ultimate goal? What do you think your biggest challenges are? Some people, they know it's opposite of me. They know the technology, they know every single thing about editing, but they're awkward on screen. They don't know what to ask. They're maybe forcing it a little bit too much. So it's I was majoring in drama for a while in college, and I love acting. Really? I love being on these kind of things, so it's kind of hard to teach, but some on-screen etiquette. So what to buy, how to get started, so you can just have your first podcast, in the days when your mom and your dog and your best couple friends are watching, right? Until the days where you got an audience. So what to buy,
and then what do you do? How do you convert? Like, you've obviously converted your audience into clients and customers. How does that happen?
So the epitome of great social selling, right, is not what you guys probably get in your inbox every day, which is maybe someone from Eastern Europe that was hired to get 20 meetings a day, that reaches out to you. Hey, Dan, looks like we have mutual connections and some mutual interests. We sell a product at 3 bullet points, and would you like to spend 45 minutes with me to go over it? You don't know this person. That's not social selling at all, right? I have an audience of thousands of people on LinkedIn. Never asked them to do one thing, never sold them one thing. But I'm now, after establishing the relationship, I got the CEO of Zoom Info following my podcast, so I can just go down the list and simply, not necessarily a sell, but say, hey, what's the bit? You're following my podcast. Maybe you don't even remember. Maybe you're gonna deactivate today. But if you do follow, if you do listen, what's the biggest impact I'm having on you in your day-to-day business life? And if no answer there, any active conversations going on around using video and podcasting for marketing and sales? I'd love to be a part of that.
Got it. But do you have many local clients, or is everything just all over the world now?
It's almost all local. Yeah,
almost all local.
Well, I'm actually doing a pretty huge campaign in India right now, and finding a lot of success there. So I'd say about 25-30% India, really? At 10%, and the rest in
local. San Francisco. How are things in San Francisco, by the way?
It's London weather, but we got the beach, we got trailheads, we got the bridge. Are
you looking out the window right now? It looks like
I have a nice view. Sorry.
Oh, really? So what are you seeing right now? Because we're seeing above your head, it looks like a X marks the spot, a crossroads.
My podcast is Sales Intersection, so there's the intersection right there.
Oh, it's like the last scene of Castaway.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's what
which way are you going to go, man?
Right. That's right.
So, Eric, I've got some. I mean, your coaching business, and it was interesting when you talk about this. And inevitably, when people want to talk about doing a podcast, doing a show like this, whatever, I used to get all twitchy when people would say, "Check out my podcast on YouTube." I'd be like, "That's not a podcast; it's a video." Now I'm over it. Lines are blurring, and I think a lot of times people get caught up on the tech, right? But I think what you're talking about is it doesn't matter. The tech's going to change all the time. And there are too many people that are working with, emerging podcasters that just want to get their show and have that drive more downloads, more viewers and whatnot. Or just starting out and knowing that they need to just go, and it's kind of a long game. It's sound, right? It's lighting. And more importantly, what you're saying, why you're doing it, and what you're saying. And there's too many people out there that are like, well, you got to buy this mic, and you got to have these headphones, and then you want to use this platform, and make sure you use this host, and like all of those things. It's like those can take care of themselves. Those are going to change all the time. But the other thing that we're talking about is presentation. And there's a friend that we know is another Amazon influencer, and he says the virtual presentation is the new suit. right? So, what we do is ourselves. What you see here is me, and what you see here is Dan, and what you see here is Eric. We don't put on anything.
Exactly.
And that's why we go live, because eventually, you just become transparent. And I love here what Mark Fonseca is saying. He's asking, what about your virtual first impression?
I think that, well, first I want to say you're 125% spot on. I think it's forget about all the technicalities in the beginning. Just get started. One thing I'm most proud of is I've wanted 16 guests to be on my podcast. I've gotten all 16, ranging from, Dale Dupree, Morgan Ingram, John Barrows, Jill Conrath, Viveka Von Rosen, Melinda Emerson. And I'm going to have Josh Braun on coming up, and fishing for some new ones. But a lot of energy goes into the podcast. So make sure you got the right, you're stoked, you're pumped about this next guest, and that you have great questions, great content. It's like, people feel like they're hanging out with you, they're having a great time, and they can't wait till the next one. And then go to the next one and learn some, of the technicalities as you go on. So I wanted to say that. And your question was,
about the virtual first impression.
I think first impressions go a long way. So I mean, if we're back in email, and I still do emails, email's not dead, and cold calling is not dead, just so you guys know. That's how I feel. Whatever it may be, that first impression goes a long way. If they see an email from Eric Jones and it looks a little spammy, or it looks like it's not going to add a lot of value, the next time they see Eric Jones in their mailbox, more likely they're going to delete it, because they're thinking probability of it being the same is going to be the same. So virtually speaking, I think, you don't have to have Hollywood-esque, lighting and the microphones and everything else, the whole crew that's setting up for you. But make sure, more or less you have a script. Be yourself. I don't take a lot of takes. I just go bam, but I know what I'm going to say. Something, I just saw your whole podcast. What really resonated with me was A, B, and C. I think that's relevant because blah, blah, blah. If you think it's worth it, give me a call. If you want me to take a hike, then tell me to take a hike.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, you know what? We have a lot in similar. They call me, you don't know this, but they call me One Take Jordan. A lot of people aren't familiar with that. That now, Fonseca is pull up Fonseca again if you can. His question. You could pull up any question, because I want to say, look how good that guy looks. You see that suit? Look at that guy. I mean, the impression he's trying. He's like a big stickler. He's a clothing guy, and actually makes my shirts. He's cool. But
does he wear a suit during at home?
Yeah, he does, even for dinner. And the kids and the plates are all perfect. And the wife wears a skirt every day. It's like it's 1950s in his house. You go to his house, it's like the same thing. Yeah, but Mark Fonseca, his big thing is he goes, do you wear a headset when you visit somebody in person? So that's his big thing. So he's getting on our case. He's basically subliminally getting on our case, because I'm wearing these.
Well, the
most important thing, Mark,
it advised me to wear headphones. So that's what.
Well, and why did we advise him to wear the headphones, Chris Stone?
The number one rule in video is your audio.
Yes, the number one rule of it. People will put up with on the screen, but they will not put up with bad noise. Bad sound is a nightmare. And by not wearing these, there's an echo, and it's very bothersome.
I'll trade you my $200 headphones for one of your suits, if that's fair.
Actually, he's big on barter, but he's not going to do it for that. He's going to get something else from you. But he's an awesome guy, and it's not just suits, shirts, pants. He's like a consultant. He'll go shopping with you. Most guys don't know. Most guys are colorblind. Basically, nobody knows what. Have you ever walked out? Are you married, Eric Brakebill Jones? Brakebill Jones.
I have a partner. We're having the engagement ring talks. I'll say that.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, does anybody call you Eric Breakball Jones, or is it always Brakebill?
Actually,
in high school, did people call you Breakballs?
You'd be the first person. But now,
really,
on the show, I'm sure I'm gonna get along.
Oh my gosh, you'd be Brakebill all day long in my high school. That's crazy tough.
Oh man!
But how many times do you walk out, getting dressed, Chris Stone, and you're walking, and your partner or significant other looks at you and says, "You're not wearing that, are you?" I mean, because guys don't know what matches does anything. Anyway, Mark Fonseca, he told me he has more shoes than his wife. Like, he knows exactly what looks good and doesn't look good.
Oh,
so
yeah.
He's like,
I have a list. I have a list of about 5 or 6 people that if need be, it's a big interview, big meeting, what have you. I just go to them. And my lady, I don't even put it on first, so then she can criticize it and I have to take it off. I just ask her, what should I wear? So I don't have to, I don't have to.
Well, he makes me these clothes. He actually puts numbers in them. It's like Garanimals. You have to match number 7 with your shirt, with your jacket. It's like, because I can't tell anything.
I was thinking, what a number is going to be good is, when's the last time I wore this shirt? Because then I like to know which shirt should I throw out, because it's probably been 462 days. So if maybe Mark can come up with a
You didn't realize this is a fashion show when you come on Dan Jordan Live. That's all. So how long have you been dating before the engagement talk happens?
Oh man.
Because they sell engagement rings on Amazon, just to let you know.
Yeah, she's not. That's not one of the places she's recommended. But we've known each other about 5 years, and we've been living together for coming up on 3.
Oh my gosh, living together for 3 years. What do her parents say to that? I don't know, because I got a daughter who's 19.
Nothing direct. I get there's a lot of pressure around Thanksgiving, Christmas.
Oh, really? Okay. I'm glad to know that stuff still happens. So this is how you know you're getting too far, that you're already in. Do you have an Instant Pot yet?
We do have an Instant Pot.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the first thing. So you got an Instant Pot. You got a dog? Okay. Do you have a Vitamix?
No, I have a Oyster Bay. I have a smoothie every day.
Oh, okay.
Make sure I put greens in there.
Okay, you have Sir Mix-a-Lot. That's important. What's another one of the top 5, Chris Stone?
Ice maker.
Oh, but yes, yeah. You have your refrigerator probably has an ice maker.
I have the old school. I just filled it up actually.
Do you really? Oh my gosh, you got to get the Opal GT ice maker. That's insanity. I can't. But actually, that's a good wedding engagement gift. Just so people need to know. It's that type of thing. Well, that's exciting. So now, does your partner work too, or does she work on your business?
So she's a patient. All her qualities, all her strengths are my weaknesses. She's a patient of a saint. I mean, I would be the worst nurse ever. But luckily, I found the right profession. She'd be a terrible salesman. So we help each other out. And if I fall down on my skateboard, I no longer ride a skateboard. But let's just say
I do. I still have.
Oh, you have an electric or?
No, just one of they have these long boards now that are really kind of cool. Now, they were my kids, but they don't use them anymore, and so I like to do it. But yeah, that's. Well, you listen, in sales, it's very important. I'm 55, so I know you're not that much younger than me. There's no reason to me to father you, but I'm going to give this fatherly advice to everybody.
I like to hear it.
You get married, you're going to double your sales. I don't know why. There's certain things that happen when you own a business. If you move offices from one to another, your sales go up. If you do any significant change, you have a baby, your sales are going to go up. If you get married, that's the biggest one, because now you got total support. That old adage, behind every great man is a great woman type of thing, and it might be reversed. Don't get me in trouble with that. But it's so true to know you have somebody supporting you in the back. And so she's very important.
You're not helping me on the stalling front, Dan. No.
Yeah, there's no need to stall. I hate that. I'm a big fan of marriage.
I'm take the plunge,
Everything gets better when you get Mac. Everything gets better. Everything's brighter. It's clearer. It's sexier. It's louder. It's just more important. Everything's better.
I'm 40 years old, so I had my my fun, and I was hoping that something like this would happen. But seriously, biologically, something just clicked where I was like, marriage sounds attractive. Being with one, with a woman and having a dog, and it's kind of more of a boring life. It sounds really attractive. Watching, our episodes of whatever she's watching at 9:30. It's great,
Yeah, I know. I don't get to watching. I was into books on tape now, which is really cool. Yeah. So, what shows? What are you watching? Right. So, what books do you read? I know the Larry Levine book, by the way, available on Amazon. The Larry Levine book is one of them. But what are you reading right now?
I'm looking at my audio book right now because I actually read. I listen. So lately, so Internal Time, which is about basically your time clock and how you can optimize your productivity based on how you're wired.
I have to stop you 1 second. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1234. I don't know why that's so exciting to me, but now I've recognized it. Okay, go on.
The compound effect. I'm not sure if you guys have ever heard of the compound effect. Just little decisions that you make that add up.
Oh, that's excellent.
Let's see some ones. Keep Sharp by Sanjay Gupta, the CNN chief medical correspondent, talks about. Let's see. You can't teach a kid to ride a bike at a seminar.
Oh, that's Sandler.
Yeah, Sandler. There you go. Yeah. Atomic Habits.
Everybody's reading Atomic Habits these days. That's a big one.
Yeah. Let's see. One more Fanatical Prospecting.
That's Jeb.
PowerPhone scripts. Let's see. The Challenger Customer, the recent one. And then how to win friends and influence people.
Yeah, that's one of my top fives. That's a Dale Carnegie. That's a big one.
Late to the show on that one.
Yes, that's that book will change your life. That's a great one. So cool. So you're doing this now. Who is your customer, by the way? Is your customer generally a small business? Is it an executive? Are teams of people? What's your your wheelhouse?
So without giving away all my secret sauce, prospecting, right?
Give it all.
No, I'm pretty much going to. On the company front, a bullseye is you go to Crunchbase, you look at these kind of seed money stage companies that are engineering top down, probably know nothing about sales, probably need not ready to hire a VP of sales, a CRO, and that's generally speaking not recommended. If you read experts' advice out there, I'll call into them and say, hey. Just be transparent. Looks like you guys are your profile, your company profile. What I know about you online, as much as I can, is exactly aligned with my ICP. And if these three things resonate with you and their challenges, we should probably keep talking. If not, we should probably hang up the phone. Other than that, I'll get individual groups. Through my podcast. Like I said, I have a big network from working in sales in Silicon Valley for 17, 18 years. So I'd say it's about 50-50 groups and individuals and companies. Yeah.
Well, that's good. Yeah. Is Pete Primo still here? Pete Primo was somebody. This guy, it's just like anything's possible, anything's available in the business. This guy has a real niche in the mattress industry. Like he has a vertical in the mattress industry, helping people sell more in the mattress. So do you have a particular vertical? I know it's a person, but is there I know they're startups, but are they all basically SaaS companies or?
You can also go to salesintersection.com is the website. But vertical wise, I stick to SaaS, cloud, cybersecurity is another big one. Analytics, video, podcasting. There's they got people that they need to ramp up quick.
So at the end of the day, if I work with you, I'm a SaaS company, and I work with you. What can I expect after 3 or 4 months?
So I actually have a guarantee for certain packages I have. If you go up the top, or you can see services there, the top right, for podcast and video. But I will guarantee an interview with, if you put your top 5 dream companies to work with one of them. If this is more of an interviewing engagement in the first 3 months.
Oh, so you get those interviews, but let's say my goal is, you said, what's my goal? My goal is to get more customers. I need 10 new clients.
Okay. Well, a lot of these guys are doing, just because I think I've seen a big change since ABM has really taken over. A lot of, the enterprise folks, they're not doing as much, of the cold calling, because they have visibility into the customer's journey,
right? Which
is dark up to about 70% of the way. So they got a sweatshop of BDRs and SDRs making calls and throwing those opportunities over the fence. So a lot of people I'm working with are SDRs and BDRs, because they're the one prospecting, and they need to get a certain amount of meetings a week so they can keep the lights on, right, and take their girlfriend out to dinner every 2 months.
Okay.
And so a lot of times it's how do I ensure that I'm not completely depressed at the end of the day and exhausted, and I can reach my quota of these meetings. But the bottom line is quality meetings. They don't want these fluffy meetings that may or may not show up. They want meetings that are going to go past discovery stage.
Okay. So, now we're finally getting there. After this whole thing, now we're finally getting there. So you help BDRs get more meetings.
That's an example.
Set up more meetings. Set up more quality meetings.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that. Quality meetings that convert.
45% higher conversion rate when going through my methods than whatever they're doing.
Really?
Yeah.
And your methods is using the podcast.
Podcast takes a little longer, but for video,
okay.
Bosses don't have time for Johnny to, hey, boss, I'm gonna start a podcast and actually sell to them though. I gotta wait till month 6.
Right.
Usually they're gonna be like, Johnny, I need this meetings by Friday. So video is usually kind of a hot one for.
No, this is good now. So, all right. So here it is. So Brakebill, if I want to get more meetings set up, you're saying to use video, like in LinkedIn and all this thing, to actually set up the meeting, like introduce yourself through video.
And people have different opinions on this. I personally,
your opinion.
I know. I'm my opinion, but I just want to put it out there. I wouldn't recommend maybe first touch video. Maybe there's maybe already one attempt, and maybe you connected on LinkedIn, but maybe no correspondence. Something a little warm, so they don't think it's maybe spam, a video coming through or something like that. But it helps, put a face. It's more personal. Put some color out there. Salespeople are some of the most colorful personalities out there. Might as well have a medium that shows it, right?
That's right.
And so, get past the noise as quickly as possible. But that first touch, if it has to be email, phone, make sure that is as creative as possible, too, because they might not give you that second shot to open the video.
I love that. And by the way, that's exactly what I do. I try to meet them somehow, some way, whether I walk into their place and get a business card, meet them at a networking event, whether I do it, they're a LinkedIn. What I do on LinkedIn is I call anybody who links in with me that has the guts to put their telephone number on their LinkedIn profile. I pick up the phone and call them. And by the way, and that's exactly what I say. I say, hey, you may or may not know me, but this is Dan Jordan, and we're linked in together. And what I do is I have a policy that anybody that has the guts to put their telephone number on their LinkedIn profile gets a phone call from me. You're the winner today. How can I help you?
And so
that's my line.
What's your pitch, Dan?
That was it.
But then what's the call to action?
That was the call to action is to start a conversation. If you have a couple of minutes, I'm sure after a couple of minutes of talking to me, I can get you some leads.
Yeah.
So tell me about your business.
Yeah, I could tell that you could probably sell ice to ice cream.
Oh no. Only if I had that ice maker, the Opal GT. My gosh, I'm all day long. Because it's so much fun to make. It's not even ice cubes; it's little nuggets,
I know.
and they're so soft and
I've
they
seen
feel
them.
good. Yeah,
Clumps. I got the big, yeah.
yeah.
Oh.
Here we are talking about ice again, Eric Breakball Jones.
Oh, we graduated from fashion, so
yeah, that's it. We're moving on. All right, so what? Oh, see, that's how you know you have a great producer.
Oh,
is that guy unbelievable? Look at that. That's the Opal GT.
Can we get an Amazon shot of the old school, how much it costs just to get the little like plastic one?
Oh, look at that. There's a little video. Who would have thought? Who would have thought there's a video selling the Opal GT? That's awesome. But that is, by the way, the world's best. If your wife, or I'm sorry, girlfriend, partner, as you put it, everybody says partner now.
Significant other.
Okay, if the chick that you're living with says is watching this, go ahead and say that is if someone sends you that, the deal is done. That's as good as a ring right there.
Okay, I'll tell her if you get that, that means there's a 3-month countdown until.
Oh my God. That's strong.
That's a good idea. So she doesn't know the exact day, but it's at least she's feeling comfortable. It's finally coming.
And by the way, that's an important thing too. To find a way to. You say it's creative ways to get in touch with people, but what if there's people have a hard time buying, the price isn't right or something. There's creative ways to get people to pay. You could forestall. You could make it less at the beginning, more at the end. You can get equity. You can do all sorts of different things. Do you ever help people in terms of negotiation of that? If you have someone who wants to, go ahead.
Yeah, negotiation is my. That's one of my favorite things to do is negotiation. Read the Chris Voss book.
My Chris Voss. He was. Oh, Chris Stone. You gave me that book of Chris Voss.
I sure did.
That's right.
He's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, he's talking about terrorists and stuff and negotiations for hostages. And we could do this in software, right? I mean, he made me feel like a little less stressed about my job after that. But yeah. I do help a lot of people with negotiation, whether it be in the interview stage, interview process, or otherwise. But I'll tell you this, Dan, I've only sold what I believe to be, when going into a new opportunity, new company, best in breed products. So startups to when I worked at Salesforce. Because I don't want to sell on price. I want to walk into that meeting when there's only 2 competitors left, and they can see it in my eyes that I believe I'm selling the best product out there. And I'm not selling on price. So if they want to go 15% lower, it's up to you.
When you're selling software, you're always selling the same thing. You're selling efficiency and saving money due to efficiency, or earning more money due to efficiency. And usually the numbers are so big, with how much if you could save $1 million, will you give me, 100,000?
Or happiness these days, the great exodus after COVID, people not going back to work. Give me something that retains my employees.
Oh, is that a big issue now?
I mean, they're calling it at least here in the Silicon Valley, mass exodus. People are not returning to work. People are quitting because there's, Apple is an example. They refuse to go to 2 days in the office. It must be 3, and it must be certain days. And people are like, you know what? I don't mind. Maybe I'll just sell ice cream out of an RV. And it's there's look it up. There's crazy things happening out there. So retention of your employees is make my job easier is a selling point right now.
Oh, yeah. I have a philosophy. I was thinking about this. I've written down a couple things, but I haven't quite thought it out. But I think for salespeople, it's because of all the technology, it's too easy. I mean, it's too easy, and so they don't have to work. You no longer need to creatively think about that special email. It's, the email's here. Just click this and send that out. We have the sales enablement software that helps you do everything. Basically, you have to breathe and then the rest happens.
I love that. I love that, you know, because people do get lazy. There's sales enablement tools, right? That that will give you the content that has been converting most. You know, you got the gongs out there that record conversations, which words, which, you know, in inflections. I mean, you got it down to a complete science. But then, you know, then you get robotic, and then it comes, and then you forget people buy from people, and so then I got a leg up, you know, because then they still don't teach you how to get that meeting. You can't buy a product that's going to teach you how to, in 30 seconds, make someone like you enough or have your message resonate enough and have the right vibe, right tone to start the process, right? With an Intel or with a Cisco or with a Google, right? So
yeah,
I love, there is so much information out there. That's why I say there's no such thing as a cold call. There's so much information out there that you should have something to say to make it warm. But sales people do get lazy, and
and the reason they don't is because it's too easy to be lazy. It's too easy right before you're about to do a podcast to look somebody up on LinkedIn and find out 3 things about them. You know, instead of really preparing.
You got to go further. You got to podcast. Listen to a podcast they're on. You know, you know, there was Dan Homecoming King. You know, what's something that, you know, almost borderline creepy that I know about you. You know, that it's like, wow.
Yeah,
that's
I don't think I was Homecoming King. I was class clown.
Oh, okay.
Nailed the class clown.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, you make some great points, Eric, and I think you know, part of my job and what I do as a remote producer is to make things look easy, right? And to make things easy for the host and the guests and that whole thing. But the truth of the matter is, it took years to get to a point, and like to Dan's point, most people aren't willing to put in the hard work to be successful. And I don't mean financially successful necessarily. I mean successful, happy in your life, like all those things that, you know, are solutions that people want, people that are leaving their jobs, and that's what they want. But the bottom line is, as technology is growing and everyone, you know, that's great because everyone can have a podcast. But the bad news is everyone can have a podcast. And there's a ton out there that is just muddying the water for the really good ones like yours and the ones that actually provide really great information. And people like yourself, you know that, and that's why you're working with people to be able to provide solutions for their businesses, because it takes excellence and it takes hard work, but it takes time.
It takes time. And you know, one of the secrets of today, I think, is one of the great benefits of having a podcast is networking. I know you guys. I kind of know Mark the clothes guy. But I surround myself on LinkedIn. A lot of people get annoyed by LinkedIn in the feed because people usually just share something from their company about a happy hour coming up or some kind of meet me at booth number, blah, blah, blah. But I surround myself, my feed is just, thought leaders that are a step ahead in the game. And so surround myself, it's, what's the old adage? You are the company that surrounds. Yeah, the 5 people. I do that on LinkedIn, and that keeps me unlazy. That keeps me thinking, man, there's way more I got to do. There's a whole lot more I can do.
Well, I feel like you said it earlier that when you want to do a podcast, you want to just feel like you're in a room with a bunch of guys just hanging out and talking. And I think that's exactly what you gave to us today, Eric Brakebill Jones. So I appreciate you. And I won't call you Breakball anymore.
You can call me Breakball.
Okay, but only to your face. I'll do that. But I think that was excellent. I think the phrase is you become the things that you read, the music you listen to, and the people that you hang out with is who you become. And I think that is absolutely true. And Chris Stone is absolutely right when he says that it takes a lot of work on the back end. You have no idea. The guy's poor brain, he's running all over the place doing all this stuff. So thank you again, Chris Stone.
Thanks, Chris.
For making me look good. And Eric, for coming, and for all you people listening and watching, and all you ice buying public, Ice maker by I don't know why we talked about ice so much today. But I was driving into the work today and early in the morning. So I'm on the road at about 5 or a little before 5, and I'm driving in. And I like to do that. And there's nobody in front of me, but I had this overwhelming just kind of feeling of abundance. And instead of seeing air, what I saw was just kind of dollar bills just all over the place, because we're in America and everything's possible right now. Everything's available to us if we just allow ourselves to receive it. So I'm driving through just like a wash of dollar bills, and it's just, flying over the car. This is obviously all in my in my brain. And then I think myself, what we need to do as salespeople and as people is just become attractive enough or sticky enough to grab some of that as it passes through.
Yeah.
Worry that there's someone's getting theirs, so I'm not getting mine. We're an ever expanding pie, and we live in a world of such abundance. The little things that you worry about are little blips in life. And it's all available if you keep the right attitude and go for it. And so
that's absolutely right. I start every day with positive affirmations in my journal.
All right. All you got to do is wake up a little bit earlier and get married, and you're going to just knock it out of the park. You guys are the best. I'm the Deej. Stick around so we can talk afterwards. Go get them today, guys.